Hello and welcome to SoBricks. I'm Adam and this is SoBricks. This is my channel for reviewing LEGO sets and building them and other LEGO related stuff. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at the LEGO Speed Champions Formula 1, the Visa Cash App Red Bull VCARB 01 F1 race car set. This is set number 77246. It has 248 pieces and I paid $27 for this. So I already covered I covered one of the Red Bull sets, which they're unique in that they're Speed Champions, but they have the 18 plus and slightly different box design there because of some rules about advertising energy drinks to younger folk in various jurisdictions, various places, and this is technically an 18 plus set, which is a interesting little workaround there. I've covered a few of these Speed Champions, the new ones, the F1 ones. I've liked them all. I think I've done 3. I did the Ferrari, the other Red Bull Oracle one, and the Mercedes AMG. So now we have this one. There's still, I think there's 10 total, maybe something like that. So there's still more. I'll probably cover them all, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But this is one that I bought right away. It just took me a while to get to it to build and talk about. So I'm excited. It looks maybe a little more simple than some of the other ones. Like the side pod stuff here might be, I think, a little bit of a letdown, but I'm holding off judgment for now, and I'm excited to get into it because I like these. So in this video, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this LEGO Speed Champions Formula 1 Visa Cash App Red Bull VCARB 01 F1 race car set, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot. If you want to support the channel, you can give money to the channel if you would like. You can do that here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks. There's a Patreon in the video description, patreon.com/SoBricks. There's affiliate links, all that good stuff. Check it out if you would like. And then I wanted to talk about the build. So you can see the floor and kind of cockpit driver area is already has sort of the structure like many of the other Speed Champions F1 cars. This is like them. It is one of them, and it uses some similar techniques. We're kind of extending out the rear to pave the way for the rear axle there, so we're adding those pieces on using a similar technique. Good amount of stickers in this set, as is the case with many Speed Champions sets, but the Formula 1 ones are the racing liveries most often. You can see the main kind of walls and structure here is already in place. For the most part, it's pretty straightforward building. We do make use of those 1x1 hollow studs with the bar coming off horizontally there. You can see the red kind of peeking out on either side. We use those to attach kind of the main side pod thing. The side pods is where a lot of these things differ, as well as the floor. Add the nose there, a lot of stickers up on the nose, but also some prints. Here we're working on the tail, or kind of the wing at the rear. Some stickers here as well, although fewer than some of the other Speed Champion Formula 1 cars, so that was nice to see. We start adding on kind of the final details to really give the shape here. We can add in the halo as well as some other details around the driver's seat there. And then we actually do these sub-assemblies for these side pods. We can add the axles and the wheels, and that's it. So now on to my review for this set. Okay, so that is the LEGO Speed Champions Formula 1 Visa Cash App Red Bull VCARB 01 F1 race car set. This is great. If you've seen my other videos of the F1 series for 2025 of Speed Champions, you kind of know what to expect. I'm going to try to go through it a little bit quicker than usual because there are similarities between all of these. There's some key differences too, and this one is no different. There's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences, so we will get right into it. And the first thing we will look at is the minifigure, because you do get one. Like all the other ones, this minifigure is not based on anybody, that it's a a driver officially in F1. These are generic drivers that have some of the branding on them, and that allows for different stuff, and that is fine. So of course they have the Speed Champions giant wrench there. You can see here we have the new kind of F1 style helmet that has the extra lip molded in there. It's dual molded with the visor in there. And then we have this nice silver printing that has an R and a B as well as a bull logo there. So that's really nice to get that. Production quality on that is pretty good. If we look underneath that, we have kind of what's more of a femme presenting looking face there. We do have an alternate hairpiece, which is a silly hairpiece. I might refer to this kind of hair a certain way that's maybe not as flattering, but overall it's a fine hairpiece, fine color. Good that they include that. No alternate face there for this character, but I do appreciate them including hair for these characters. And then looking at the torso, it's basically a white torso for the racing suit. It has some stripes where there's a seam, some stuff around the collar, little bit of color, the blue kind of on the edge there, and there is that silver Red Bull kind of logo there. No printing on the midsection, no printing on the legs, no printing on the arms, back of the torso. Very, very basic. Actually, it's the case for a lot of these F1 Speed Champion sets that the drivers, like, I get that they're supposed to be generic, but they've been pretty low detail, all things considered, even compared to other Speed Champion sets, compared to city stuff, compared to any number of other things. This one's great, and they have like exclusive things, like this helmet's probably going to be exclusive to this set, or maybe not, but stuff like that. The printing there, the torso may be as well, but just not a ton of detail throughout, which I think could be improved on. But that is the minifigure there. I'm happy to get that. And then the rest of the set is the vehicle here. So this is great. There are a lot of stickers here. That's the case for all of these Speed Champions F1 cards and for most F1 sets. You can see the sticker sheet here. It goes up to 34. There are a couple like duplicates, like 15 here, and that may be it. I guess 16 is the same as well, and that's like a lot of them are basically the same but mirrored in sort of the color there. But this is the other Red Bull car, and this is really cool. So it starts with the classic sort of chassis piece there that they've been using for I think all of these F1 cars, and actually building it out into the rear and building it out to the front, to the axles, was pretty similar to other stuff. They used some similar connections. There's like a piece with a Technic pinhole. We put a pin in that and connect this kind of pronged piece here, which is kind of hard to see, and then we do put a plate on top of that to kind of fix those together in there, and that's sort of how we extend it out. We have some bracket used. You can see the underside of it here with some tiles then, as well as the 1x1 with the vertical bar and the mini peg hole in it. This piece are used on the side, kind of around the bottom of the just on these pieces here, and then these kind of flag pieces actually get clipped to those, so that is nice there. Building out the kind of front area, again, it was pretty similar. It does use a nice technique. There's some upside down building in here with some different clips, kind of where these mirrors are going to be. So we have a clip clipped in there, and then but that clip piece is a 1x1 with a clip. It's upside down. We have a kind of slope piece, angled slope piece there that's also upside down, and then we have these really nice, relatively new pieces that are the open stud and a very narrow or thin plate, and then a clip on the other side. We use those to then hold the spoons there. There was another one, maybe it was the AMG Mercedes that made use of that technique that I thought was cool when they did it there. It's similar here. Pretty much every detail you're going to see for the most part is stickers, but there are a couple prints, so I'll kind of go through that stuff. Stickers all up on the front here, so Hugo, Cash App, this color blocking one, same on the other side. The Cash App over here, same over here. So those are all stickers. We have stickers on these kind of specialized pieces for the front suspension kind of axle area there. This is printed, so it's printed up here with the Visa, Cash App, the I can't read that, Avernal, the Pirelli, the Orlen, and then the Visa Red Bull here as well. The production work is pretty good. I don't know if this is a bad produced print for this logo or if that's how the logo looks. It's just a little bit hard for me to read, and as somebody who like doesn't know what it's supposed to be, that was a little bit difficult. On the side of that one, we can see we have the Red Bull or just the bull kind of there on the side. We got the little bit of red up at the top of this as well. So that is a print. This is a print here, and this is pretty good because it's on a black cheese wedge there, but then we have the blue and we have the like HRC, is that Honda Racing maybe up here, and the white actually looks pretty good, so that is nice to see. Moving back from that, sticker right here on the top. On the side, where there's actually a sticker right here and right here, but this Hugo with the blue and the red is a slope piece that is actually printed, and there's a different one on the other side there. So that's printed sticker here. This red stripe is a sticker looking at kind of the top, sticker here, as well as on the side there. Same on the other side. Underneath the kind of halo is a sticker here and here. And then this stripe that kind of starts up here and goes through there on those, that red 1x4, that a brick, that is a print. And the white actually looks pretty good. So printing white on red, sometimes Lego has real difficulty with, where it comes out like really pinkish. And this one I actually think is kind of good. I feel like the white that is printed on there is very similar to the white plastic used elsewhere. It's also very similar to the white that is on the stickers, such that it blends pretty nicely. So that is print, and I think they did a pretty good job. It's stickers behind there. Same on the other side. So the Honda stickers there. Here we have the Cash App stickers on those like 1x6 tiles. Those are fine. Color match is pretty good. So I don't have a problem with that. The bull over here on kind of this angled taper piece is a print, and again, production work is really good on that. Same over here. I like that metallic printing they do. At the rear kind of tail, this is a sticker. It is all one, so the Orlen and the Cash App, it's all one sticker there. Cash App on the back. On the side, we have a sticker here and a sticker here, again with some more logos. Same on the other side. They didn't have anything kind of inside the back here, which was nice. I didn't like putting those stickers on other ones, and I think it looks better. We have the kind of lights. That's a printed piece at the back there. The wheels are printed like the other F1 series in this set for 2025. We have a thicker, slick rear wheel and then a thinner, slick forward wheel or front wheel up there. So that's great. They're printed with red on black, and then the kind of rim or the hubcap is a black dish piece that has a thin red stripe all the way around it. So that is very good. Those all look nice. I think that's all of the kind of little details there. I may be missing something. Oh, the steering yoke kind of dash thing that they've been using, this piece in here, that is printed. And then kind of thinking about the build for this, I was surprised at how early we built in the seat and then kind of build back from it. I think compared to some of the other ones, this has a relatively more straightforward side pod design, but it was better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was not going to look that good from the pictures, but actually seeing it compared to the real thing, which they do include in the instructions a little bit. Let me grab that. I think they actually captured it relatively well. So it just has, kind of a square back, and it's got this really angular kind of piece that protrudes out there and kind of this flow going through here. And I think that is represented pretty well. It looks like the wheels on the image they use have white printing, and my set at least didn't come with white, but it looks like maybe Lego just chose to do red for that one, which that feels fine. And so they captured the essence of this really well. I mean, the side pod and the floor design is where a lot of these F1 cars differ, but the effect of that is it really changes up the build experience. This one was not crazy new. I mean, this is a lot of studs on top. This whole sub-assembly attaches in kind of a nice way to get that angle. It's just on one of the 1x1 hollow studs with the bar coming off of it. That's placed under these slopes with these stickers on them, and then we just kind of angle that down. And I was really impressed with how nice this angle, how this piece angles down all the way, and it mirrors this angled piece, or it has essentially the same angle, so those aren't mismatched at all, which I think is really good. I think getting the kind of air channel through here was achieved nicely. We've got the little teeth things, intake things or whatever down here, which is great to see. And I think, this came together relatively quickly. It's not too different. The front kind of nose area is built very, very similar to all of the other ones that I've looked at so far. I think this is the fourth one I've looked at. So the main differences are going to be the side pods in here, how the seat is done. Actually, they use different pieces back here. This one does use a ski kind of for the fin in the back there. For the seat area, we do use a window pane piece here, and then in front of that we have this sub-assembly that actually makes use of a flower stud and then it's something like this. We take the flower stud, which has the open top, and we put this piece in there upside down. Then we put a stud on the side brick on it on the side, so it actually has this opening there. We put a plate on that, and then the ingot style tile on there. And I thought that was cool, but the problem with that is that it's only just on there on a jumper, so it's just the one stud that's holding that on. So when we're getting a driver in and out of there, I could see that being a little bit of a problem, and I'll actually show what it looks like with the driver in there. So everybody's kind of already talked about where the helmet is and the eyes is relation to the halo or this kind of bar there. They do an okay job. I think it's pretty good, so we can get them in there. I mean, I don't know how accurate it is to safety and regulations and whatever else, but I think it's perfectly fine. I think it looks good with them in there, and then it is possible to kind of get it down a little bit lower actually in this case it's not. We would have to take off maybe this piece clipped on there, but it's important to have that there. It's a pretty big feature of kind of the cockpit areas of F1 cars. So we can get that in there. It's not great, not terrible. I like it overall. The pacing for the build was pretty good. The stickers were spread out. There are a lot of stickers. I'm not the biggest fan of putting stickers on concave slopes here like these or this one. I've gotten pretty used to the one on the back for that 2x6 kind of concave slope there. So because I've done it on almost all of them, but they're not my favorite to do. And this feels really great. It's got the same sort of issue up front because a lot of this comes down to one stud. We do make use of a lot of jumpers, including the 1x2 sort of rounded jumper plate in there, as well as just a regular rectangular 1x2 jumper. The driver is, in there. You can put them down on to 4 studs, which can make them a little bit difficult to get out. I didn't have too much trouble right there, but I don't think I seated them in all the way. Relatively few gaps on here where I thought they would be. I thought there'd be some gaps back here. I wasn't convinced that the stripe was going to work as well as it did. I was not thinking that this was going to be printed as well as it did, the red one back there. I thought there would be some gaps kind of at the floor at the back as well. They did a pretty good job filling those in, so I like that. Sits super low, which is great. I'm not 100% sure why this piece was used here, but it was. So the rear axle connects, there's like a Technic axle through here, and we add the 1x2 kind of, or sorry, yeah, the 1x2 half beam with just 2 axle holes in it to then shift it further back. And then they do the same thing that they've done with all the other ones, using the kind of minifigure clear accessory backpack piece in there, which adds these kind of slope pieces to kind of or just using those on the rear axle. So that is pretty common, and I think this looks great. I think this is a great looking set. It didn't blow my mind with anything, but if I had built this one first before I built the Oracle one or the Mercedes or the Ferrari or anything like that, I would have really, really loved this. And so there is an element to it that it's like, okay, we've seen a lot of this. There certainly are things in here that are different slightly, many things that are similar, but it's still a great build. It's nicely designed. It's executed really well. Design elements and production elements, for the most part, are quite good, especially compared to like other Lego themes and stuff like that. So I think they did a really good job here, and I think these are really fun. I just like these F1 cars a lot. I like Speed Champions generally, but these are particularly great. I still am unsure. I'm probably going to get all of them, but I have just been, holding off a little bit. I don't really have a favorite team or anything like that, but I know various amounts about the drivers for different teams and kind of a little bit about where they have performed, or which was the best one or anything like that. But I really like these Lego sets. So this was quite good, quite fun. I think the colors work really well. Color blocking is good. Nice, where there are prints, they're produced well. For the most part, I'm not sure about the one on the nose kind of there, that logo that's just beneath Cash App and above Pirelli. It's sort of like is it like Revinol or Arvinol or something like that? I don't know. It's a little bit, it almost looks like it's missing printing, or it's just too fine of detail for them to get like super crisp or something. I don't 100% know, but maybe that's just what their logo looks like. The rest of it, feels great. So I like this a lot. I'll show the extra pieces because you do get some. Pretty standard, about what you would expect. So you do get an extra of that half pin with the interesting kind of connection on the other side. Do get an extra of the flexible tube that is used for the kind of halo area there. Your 1x1s, your studs, your tiles. We do get an extra of the printed cheese wedge for the nose. Extra one of these kind of clip pieces with the plate, or the 1x1 stud on the other side. All your 1x1s, your studs, your tiles, your Technic pins, the spoon for the mirrors, all of that good stuff is used in there. And this set is 248 pieces. One minifigure retails for $27. It feels, I've covered this in all of my other F1 Speed Champions ones, as well as other Speed Champions. This is really great. And I know other people have talked about, does this verge on, like scale models or like model kits that aren't Lego? And, they're getting better and better. Speed Champions have been getting a lot better. They've been including more prints, more specialized pieces, and this one's no different. This F1 series is kind of the culmination of many changes in the Speed Champions line, and with that came some price increases. I don't want these to be $30. I'm not going to be terribly surprised if they are or when they are, but I'd like to keep it as if. I would like this better at $25, better at $20. 25 felt kind of like a good middle spot, but I remember when it went from 20 to 25, I wasn't like thrilled about that either. I still think Speed Champions are pretty good value, broadly speaking, for the quality of the model, for display and play, and the build techniques and the pieces used. The F1 cars is not as like diverse of a piece usage line, but I'm excited for some of the other Speed Champion sets where we're back to like road cars and other race cars and maybe concept cars and movie cars and like stuff like that, because I think those offer, they're so much more different from each other that they allow for, more experimentation, more innovative piece usages and connections and stuff like that, because these have the similar kind of form factor and everything for all the F1 cars. It's a little bit limited, but I still think these are really great. They're a really engaging build experience. I think they are fantastic looking models, and I'm really, really pleased with this. So in terms of the value, I knew I was going to be paying $27 for all of these. I think it's likely that they will eventually go on sale, although I'm not 100% sure on that. 20% off, knocking $5 and is 40 cents off or whatever is pretty good. That gets us below the $25 mark. If it might be that like some teams, maybe the less popular teams, are going to be less popular sets, and those are going to not sell as well, and so they will be put on sale at different times. I'm not 100% sure. These are still like relatively new, so at least for right now, $27 doesn't feel too bad. Please don't go up to 30, and that will be great. I mean, I know this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I would rather them like up the price on brickheads, broadly speaking, for like the single packs, and then keep these the same. I'm not a brickhead collector. I am a Speed Champion collector, so that probably explains that. But like the brickhead price for like the amount of prints that they put in there and everything else, and just even for the piece count, has been stable for a good amount of time, and there's IP attached with those and lots of other stuff, but they've just stayed at $10, which is great. I mean, I wish I wish both things could stay at whatever price they are. I'm only bringing that up to say that like if there was going to be something where they were going to be, upping the price across the thing, if brickheads were $11, $12, I actually still think those would be pretty good deals. But maybe I'm in the minority on that. And so if I was at Lego and I had to like pick and choose and make the decisions for the bean counters, well, I might say we can afford to make a little bit less than we do right now. So actually, maybe let's make the Speed Champions $25 again, or keep them at $27. But then, maybe, I don't know. There's room for other places where Lego could like do that. I don't know if the finances for different themes and different things are all sort of lumped together, or if they're kind of separate, but at the end of the day, it's all going back to the Lego group. So just food for thought. I think there's room on some of the brickheads, and I just want my Speed Champions to be good deals. I want the brickheads to be good deals as well. I happen to think that like a $12 brickhead is actually probably still a good deal considering the prints and everything else. As long as they keep doing that and don't put stickers in them and everything, I would be fine. And then like the 2-packs and the 5-packs and whatever else of brickheads, maybe keep those where they're at, because I think those are pretty good. That's just my thoughts on an unrelated kind of line of Lego products, but I like this. It's a fine deal. This was great. I like these F1 cars. I like Speed Champions. I had a blast building this, had a blast talking about it. So that is it. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below. below so you can stay up to date on all the LEGO videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Speed Champions, more F1 cars, and then tons of other LEGO sets from all different themes, all different shapes, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming LEGO videos. Subscriptions help me a lot. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We're getting close, and then we kind of move away a little bit, and then we get a little bit closer. If you're not subscribed, maybe consider doing it. If we get to 2,000 subscribers with everyone's help who watches and stuff, I'll do like a giveaway. And last time I did a giveaway for a big milestone, not very many people entered, so everybody kind of got stuff. I sent a few poly bags to like each person, and then maybe one person got, in that case, an Ahsoka Tano brickhead, and I'll probably do something similar where multiple people will get something, and one person might get the bigger of the things, but I'm not going to go crazy. It's just it's one way to support the channel, and it means a lot to me. There's another way to support the channel, or there's many ways to support the channel. One of the ways you could do that is by giving money to the channel. You can do that here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks. There's a Patreon. It's linked in the video description, patreon.com/SoBricks. There's a Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description. There's also going to be an affiliate link to buy this. So if you buy this from that retailer using that link at no additional cost to you, I will get a small percentage of that, and every little bit helps, so it does add up. So maybe consider using an affiliate link or something there if you would like. And with all that said, until next time, thanks, bye.